My name is Jonas Blanchard, and I created a clothing brand for my Masterworks. Throughout my presentation, I'll be going over the process I went through while creating my brand, as well as the knowledge I obtained throughout. Ever since I was a young child, I've been interested in all kinds of art, as you can probably tell from the photos. I have always been more interested in the creative aspects of life, whether it was playing with Lego or making castles on Minecraft with my friends. I think I chose clothing design as my Masterworks because it is a way to express myself creatively. I was attracted to this subject because it is important to be different and unique. That's what I wanted to express in my clothing. I like doing this because it pushes me to do what no one else is doing and fully express myself to get a unique product. My goal in life is to retire young and wealthy so I can go out and find my way in the world. I want to be able to travel and have fun without having to worry about getting food on my plate. This helped me choose my Masterworks because this project could help me enormously. If I learn about the industry young, I could be able to apply that in the future. Before I created my brand, I had to plan out important aspects that a clothing brand needs. I had to figure out what kind of clothing my brand was going to sell, what style of clothing my brand was going to sell, who my clothing was made for, and why I was making my clothing. In order for me to answer these questions, I had to do three things. I had to come up with a vision of what I wanted my brand to be, I had to find a target market, and I had to come up with a mission statement. First, I created a vision for my brand. I did this so I could refine all the thoughts in my head about what I wanted my brand to be into clear ideas. I achieved this through a vision board. A vision board is a board with a bunch of things that inspire you or give off an aesthetic or idea that you want to be reflected in your clothes. For me, I have some art pieces from my favorite artists. I also have some images of other brands that I like, such as Off-White. Off-White is a brand that originated in Milan that has built their brand name so much that they can sell a hoodie with simple designs on it for thousands of dollars. This is a goal for my brand, but probably unachievable. The vision board really helped me when it came to creating designs and ideas for my brand. The next very important step I took when I was creating my brand was identifying my target market. This was an extremely important part of me creating my brand because once I identified my target market, I was able to really make my clothing appealing to my target market. Finding a target market is about making your clothing appealing to a specific group of people in order to make more profit. Take Nike, for example. Their target market is athletes. My target market is people from the age of 13 to 25. I feel like my clothing would simply connect with this age because of the idea of freedom that I want my clothes to portray. The final step I took was creating a mission statement. A mission statement is a formal summary of the aims and values of a company, organization, or individual. Creating a mission statement is important because it allows you to think about what you want to do with your company and where you want to take it. My mission with my brand is to bring comfortable streetwear that represents the idea of being free and having fun, but that can also be worn with everything. Simple designs that make your outfit 10 times better. Once I had created the designs and ideas for my company and clothing, I began to manufacture my clothing. Manufacturing is one of the most important parts of making a clothing brand, because it is how you make the clothing, and you can't have a company without the material. There are two main kinds of manufacturing: domestic manufacturing and overseas manufacturing. Domestic manufacturing is manufacturing that is done in the same country as the company. Overseas manufacturing is getting your product made out of the country, mostly in countries like China and India. There are pros and cons to both of these methods. Some good things about domestic manufacturing are that your product usually gets shipped faster, there are most likely regulated working conditions which could strengthen your brand image, and domestic manufacturers usually produce higher quality clothing. But domestic manufacturing can also cost more and a smaller variety of items they can manufacture. Some pros of overseas manufacturing are that it can be much cheaper, there can be a better variety of products, and more products produced in a shorter period of time. Some cons of overseas manufacturing are that it can take longer to be shipped, it often has unregulated working conditions, and can have lower quality products. Next is the actual process of manufacturing clothing. It is a different process depending on what your manufacturer uses, but usually you just have to submit a tech pack of exactly what you want to the manufacturers. Some of you may be wondering what a tech pack is. A tech pack is a document containing all the important information about your product. It's a very important document for both designers and manufacturers when producing new clothing because it helps clearly communicate every little detail about what you are making to your manufacturer. A tech pack should include all the information about your clothing, including the color, dimensions, design, material, and any other information you think the manufacturer should know. Once the product is manufactured, it will be sent to you for you to sell. Or if you are getting orders online and your manufacturer is a very nice person, they could send the product straight to the people who ordered it. For my brand, I chose to get my manufacturing done domestically as I'm against sweatshops and want to make sure my clothing are being made in a place with regulated working conditions and reasonable income for their workers. I had my clothing manufactured by a company called T-Shirt Elephant. They were really great when it came to them making clothing exactly the way I wanted. They got me to use a specific kind of tech pack that is digital, and the way it works is I choose an article of clothing that I like in the style that I like. Then I upload my art onto it in the size and position I want. This to me was way easier than making a traditional tech pack. And here's my final product. Hoodie. This is the first one I came up with. It has the trademark butterfly on it and the massive Wild Designs logo on the back. This is one of my favorites. Really like it. Super comfortable. Next we have the cool gray t-shirt. Super good for summer. Also with a big logo on the back to let everyone know you're repping Wild Designs. It's got a funky little eye on it. It's also really nice. And finally, this is my favorite because this has less to do with my brand. Kind of just made this one for fun. It's got a character from my favorite TV show on it, and I really like that one. Now this brings me to marketing. Marketing is one of the most important parts of developing a business or brand. Marketing is the action or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. Basically, it's selling products that are high in demand and finding products that are unique from other products. For example, if you were going to start selling athletic clothing, you would not be able to make much of a profit because there are well-known brands that are extremely wealthy and powerful, such as Nike and Adidas. This would give consumers a reason to buy products from them rather than you. It is also creating an image or brand, which is positioning your products or services in the marketplace in a way that makes the consumers believe they need a particular product or service, or that a product or service has a particular benefit. It is common belief that marketing in the fashion industry is just fashion design, but there's actually so much more that takes place in order to get that design to consumers. Marketing in the fashion industry is the management of advertising campaigns and promotions to sell your brand and product. With fashion marketing, you need to find preferences of different audiences and find ways to present those preferences in a way that resonates with the audience. What is unique about the clothing industry is that it is extremely fast-paced. In other industries, you may be able to run the same or similar business plans, but in the clothing industry, you must constantly be adapting and changing. Fashion marketers must keep up with the latest trend and continually devise new creative ways to advertise clothing. Clothing marketers need to be able to keep up with the demand of the consumers while still being able to drive sales and a profit. Fashion marketing balances the creative side of clothing design with the needs of consumers and the need to make a profit. The four main parts of marketing in the fashion industry are market research and analysis, brand design and development, developing and managing advertising campaigns, and finally pricing and distribution. Market research and analysis is vital because you need to know who your target market is and how to choose your target market. You also need to know how to cater to your target market. Brand design and development is very important because you need to know how you need to build a brand that resonates with your target market, and you need to make designs and logos that connect with your target market. Developing and managing advertising campaigns is an important part of marketing in the clothing industry. It is making advertisements that sell a lifestyle, an ad that makes consumers want to buy your clothing because they believe they're going to benefit from buying your clothing. And pricing and distribution is another big part of marketing in the fashion industry. It involves research and analysis of how fashion products are selling in retail and pricing them with the overarching goal of maximizing profits. This is how fashion brands make money. An important aspect of being successful in the fashion industry is having a trademark. Mostly every brand in the clothing industry has a trademark. Trademarks are the component of a company that makes them unique. A trademark is usually a logo, phrase, or art. Having a unique logo would be one of your brand's trademarks. If your clothing brand is successful and a consumer sees your clothing in the store, they would likely buy your clothing over other clothing in the store because they recognize your brand. Not only can having a trademark improve your sales, but it can also allow you to charge higher prices for your clothing. Trademark for my brand is a cartoon butterfly. My trademark is a butterfly because to me it gives off an image of being free and having no worries, and this is the vibe I want my brand to give off. Next is advertising. Advertising is the activity or profession of producing advertisements for commercial products or services. Advertising is a very important part of a clothing brand and really any company that is trying to trade goods or services for income. Advertising is very important because it lets more people know about what you are selling. Advertising gives you more sales because it's making more people aware that your company exists. Expanding the amount of customers you have is important because it means you make more money. And the more money you make, the more advertisements / better advertisements you can get. The hard part is people will not just support your brand because they see an ad for it. You have to really convince them that they need the product. For this, you will need a persuasive advertisement. The best way to make an advertisement persuasive is by using these 3 tools: ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is the process of connecting to a person's credibility and ethics. An example of this would be promoting the fact that your brand uses ethically sourced materials, or you are donating a percentage of your profit to a worthy cause. An example of a company using ethos is 10 trees. 10 trees plant 10 trees for every item of clothing they sell. Next is pathos. Pathos is the process of connecting to someone's feelings and emotions. Using pathos is simply making someone feel a certain way when they see your clothing. It can also be making people associate your brand with something. An example of a brand using pathos is Supreme. Supreme makes you feel rich and wealthy when you wear it because of how expensive their prices are. It also makes you feel special because of how limited their supply of product is when they sell it. This makes people want to buy it more because most people want to be rich, and if they wear Supreme, it can give them a feeling of being wealthy. The same goes for other brands such as Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, Cartier, etc. The next persuasive tool is logos. Logos is the process of connecting to people's logic and reason. This is a very effective way to get people to buy your product simply because it makes them feel like they absolutely need your product. Logos is also a very good way to get people to buy your product because in your advertisement, you can use the weather conditions to your advantage. For example, if it is winter, you can sell winter coats that keep you warmer than other coats. Then you can advertise that, and people who see that advertisement in winter will now be aware of your brand and will think of your brand when they think of winter coats. It is essential that you get people to notice your brand or product. If no one knows your product exists, then you will not get any sales. When you're advertising, you can efficiently sell a lifestyle or story. You can turn an ordinary graphic t-shirt into a skating t-shirt. In this day and age, online advertisements are the best possible choice when it comes to advertising your products because of the sheer amount of people that use the internet. YouTube and Instagram are such good platforms to place your advertisements because of how many people use those platforms. But platforms like these are extremely expensive and way out of my price range, so I had to think of ways to get the word about my brand out without spending a crazy amount of money. What I did was I created an account for my brand on TikTok, and my plan is to post aesthetically pleasing videos that connect people to my brand. I've not posted anything on TikTok yet because I'm sold out and I don't want to advertise my brand when I don't have any clothing to sell, but coming soon. Me, with the help of Beck Morissette, we created a mock-up ad, and this is what an ad could look like. Next, with the help of one of my external advisors, Wade Morissette, we created a splash page, which is basically a mock-up website that has all the information about my brand. So down here we have the mission statement, and then here's the collection with all of the designs that I have. And then here's where the future wild designs would be. So this is where I would show my future clothing that's coming soon. And finally, we have about Jonas Blanchard, if you want to take a deeper look at mine. Now for the final event, a little fashion show. Give a round of applause for Freya Hendrickson and Connor Wood. I got to simulate business experience and will have greater knowledge of this topic in the future. Before I leave, I would like to thank a few people. Firstly, I would like to thank my faculty advisor for busting my bottom. Thank you, Andrea Earle. Next, I would like to thank my external advisors. Firstly, thank you, Wade Morissette, for all the great ideas and creating my splash page with me, even though basically all the credit goes to you. Secondly, thank you, Javier. You were a great help when it came to creating my brand and coming up with my vision. And again, I would like to thank Beck Morissette for editing and helping with the filming of my advertisement. I would also like to thank my mother and father for helping me fund this project shortly after I realized that I would not be able to do it alone. Also, thank you for being so supportive. I would like to thank Phoebe McLeod, Freya Hendrickson, Connor Wood, and Jake Salome for being my fantastic clothing models. And lastly, I'd like to give a big thank you to Jen Hendrickson for being so supportive and getting me through the year. Thank you.
Look, I got a shirt too. Oh. So, Mr. Blanchard, that was an excellent presentation. Unfortunately, you now have to answer some questions. And they are coming from your advisors first.
Wow, Jonas, that was wonderful. Congratulations on all of your hard work. Excellent. Very proud. The question I have for you is about your actual creation of your design. Could you explain what you did for us in a little bit more detail?
Yeah, so when I was creating my designs, I drew them out with a pencil and paper, and then I just colored them in with some nice fancy Copic markers and inked them, and then I uploaded them onto my computer and put them onto a software called Inkscape. It's an illustration software, and touched it up, made sure all the colors were consistent, and the lines were straight and everything, and then I was just able to upload it straight to the tech pack that Elephant t-shirt used.
Wonderful, thank you.
Hey Jonas, great job.
Thank you.
Tell me more about your mission statement and why freedom and that kind of sentiment came.
So I really wanted to make my clothing meaningful, to me especially. Like, I wanted it to inspire freedom and having fun, especially for my age group, which is 13 to 25, because I feel like people that age are under so much pressure. They gotta get through school, go to college. I feel like people are like, graduate, go to college, start a family, but like, I want it to be like, have fun in school, take a gap year.
Then I have a question that relates to that, Mr. Blanchard. When wearing your wild sweatshirt, do you feel free without worry?
Definitely.
Okay, questions from the floor. Please come on up here to the mic so that we can get this good and loud on ours.
I have a burning question that can't wait. Why did you spell wild with a Y? I get wild because you want to be wild and free, but why with a Y?
So it needs to be special, and there's like 30 companies called Wild with an I already, so
Yeah, so people remember
Got it.
it because it's different.
you gotta think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
I
specific reason for the colors you chose for your clothing?
Yeah, I chose kind of like lighter colors because, like, I don't know, it kind of feels like more chill to me, like more relaxed than like an intense blue, you know? So that kind of goes with my purpose for my brand.
Very well done, Mr. Blanchard. My question is, would you ever like to have your own store?
Definitely, that would be so cool. I'm definitely gonna take this brand much farther than this. This is just the beginning. With the help of Wade, we're gonna hopefully work on making an actual website over the course of next school year. It's gonna be very fun.
So, Mr. Blanchard, can we look forward to getting onto that website and seeing a whole bunch of new designs?
Yes, new
And available, you
clothing.
can just click a button and get a shirt.
A lot coming soon.
Mr. Blanchard, big fan of Wild Designs. I touched a little bit on the future of Wild, but do you have any plans for like the far future, like university and past that?
Well, in university, hopefully I want to try and go to like design school or business school just to further my knowledge in this. And I don't know if this takes off or this turns into something good, who knows where it will go.
Out of everything out there, why did you choose the clothing industry?
Again, I just wanted to choose something that involved a lot of creativity and like designing and stuff, but could also make me a lot of money.
Well done, Mr. Blanchard.
Thank you.
Fantastic, and I love your designs. I had a question about your manufacturing. You mentioned that you wanted to produce it locally because you're against sweatshops.
Indeed.
Your demographic is 13 to 25-year-olds, which generally are not super wealthy yet, as you will be soon. What's the balance there? Is it super important that it's produced locally for your brand? Is there a chance that you'll say, screw it, I want to make a whole bunch of money, so I'll go overseas? How do you make that decision?
Okay, so I tried really hard to make my clothing a little cheaper, but local manufacturing is pretty expensive, so I ended up just like clicking add on, because the more I buy at once, the cheaper each item is. So I did that. But in the future, I wouldn't be opposed to overseas manufacturing. I would just want to make sure that it's a reliable place that I'm getting my clothing from with reliable materials, eco-friendly materials, and reliable pay for their workers.
And do you think that's coming overseas?
Sorry?
Do you think that's coming for overseas production? Do you think that's some movement?
I think there already are some places that do that, which would be... I should definitely look into that, yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Mr. Blanchard. Thank you. On behalf of the 7th grade, which is in the think tank, I have a few questions. First here is from Cole. Do you have a plan to restock? And can you share your website with the school?
Definitely. When my website comes out, follow Wild Designs on Instagram, and then for updates on everything, and we'll let you know when the website comes out, when there's a restock, when there's new clothing. Wild Designs on Instagram. Oh, sorry, wild_D3 signs.
Thank you. All right, a couple more, but I'll interject my own here right now. Did you strategically plan this, I don't have any stock, and then make everyone all excited about getting stock soon? Was that part of your marketing plan?
No, I thought I had too much at the beginning, and then I got a lot of support from people who knew me, and they really wanted to get some, and so I just sold out of everything.
Nice, but it does work, doesn't it? Supply and demand. All right, here's from Ailey. What was the hardest part of the design process?
Oh my god, getting the designs on the tech pack to look good, like touching them up. I definitely want to get like a iPad Pro or something to design my clothing rather than hand designing it, because it's really tricky using the illustration software, especially on an old MacBook like mine. It's really tough.
Thank you. Another one from Vera. What would each of your products cost to buy? We didn't hear any numbers yet, I don't think.
So, the hoodies are around $52, and I'm hoping to get them a little cheaper just so that they're more available to everyone. But I still want to have them good quality. That is a value of mine.
I'd like a question from the grade 6s and from the grade 8s over there. So think about it. Question for you, Mr. Blanchard. What is the profit margin for you when you sell one sweater like this?
It's like $2. It's not great. That's why I want to make it cheaper.
Rich and famous.
Yeah.
I would like to add on to Scott's comment. So you know that the school bought every single kid a hoodie this year.
Yeah.
And I went through a little bit of the same process that you did to get those hoodies.
Yeah.
And because we bought 70 of them, the price dropped by $20 less than yours. So hopefully,
Yeah.
you will get at least 100 sales and be able to drop the price down or increase your profit margin.
Exactly. Yes.
Great job, Mr. Blanchard.
Thank you.
First question, would there be a discount for IPS students? Yes.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Now there is. Yes.
And two, would you consider doing sort of a pride design?
Yeah, I would. Next Pride Month. That's a good idea. Yeah, I'll definitely make one of those. A Pride-inspired hoodie next Pride Month.
Great. Thank you. Which of your shirts is the best seller?
Best seller, definitely the Wild Designs hoodie. As you can see, there's quite a few people wearing it today.
Sarah.
Wonderful job, Mr. Blanchard. So you put on a lot of different hats on the project, like being a marketer, and going through manufacturing steps, and designing it. What do you think is your favorite part of clothing design?
So, when I started off, I really just wanted to do this for the designing part of it and drawing the designs. I was really into that. But then, as I went through, I got really interested in the marketing and advertising part. That's why there was so much in my presentation. Yeah, I forgot the question. Sorry, what was
What was your favorite part?
Oh, yeah, it was still designing. Just because, I don't know, I like that stuff.
Amazing job.
Thank you.
My question was, how much does the environment and earth matter to you for your design needs?
It matters a lot. I think that where the earth is going right now is not going to a good place, and the fashion industry is definitely contributing a whole lot to the degradation of the earth. So it's really important to me that fashion brands start to pick up the slack and start contributing and helping to the cleaning of our world.
Great job, Mr. Blanchard. My question was, do you plan on making anything like bracelets and hats in the future?
So hats, I really want to make a hat. Kind of like the Bass Pro Shop hats. I want to make a design like that. I really like those, yeah.
Thank you.
Fantastic presentation, Mr. Blanchard. My question is, what are some next steps for Wild Designs in sustainability?
So, well, again, I just want to find manufacturers that use sustainable materials. I don't really know any other way other than that. I guess we need to, sorry?
Research.
I guess I need to research that because I don't know.
I have another question. You mentioned pantries as a way of marketing to have a buffer incentive, I guess. What would you
My incentive would be Pathos because I'm connecting people with being free and like an idea, so they associate my brand with something.
Nice job.
Thank you.
I liked it. If you get a lot of money, would you make sports clubs? As you said, there's a lot of competition.
I don't think so. I would probably just stick mostly to style and making like street clothing. Athletic clothing, it's not really my thing, and that takes like less. It takes more designing it to be like durable and efficient for athletics, and I kind of like designing how things look and feel instead of like the performance of a clothing.
Great job. Mr. Blanchard. I have a question. How many designs did you go through before you found your final design?
Like a whole sketchbook.
Blanchard, some of us don't fit that demographic. I'm hoping there might be something in the future that will work for the demographic, but a little bit older. Is that something in the business plan down the road?
I mean, you don't have to be the age group. That's just my target audience that I'm marketing it to, where I think I'll get the most sales. But if you're older than that and you want to look really good, then you should definitely check out the clothing.
Good job. Proud of you.
Mr. Blanchard, would you ever consider using recycled materials for your clothing?
Yeah, that would be really cool. I have no idea how I would do that, but I would definitely look into that. I've seen like Adidas using recycled bottles and stuff, but I never knew how they did that, but I'll definitely look into that.
Guy. My last question for you is this. A few weeks ago, we had a group of people come in to talk to us about design. One of those people is an alumni named Fergus Clark. Can you tell me about the talk that you had with him afterwards and the words of advice that he gave to you?
So he told me to, he goes to Emily Carr design school, and he said, when I'm going to Rockridge, take the 2D arts elective, and the teacher is super nice and helpful. And he said that the teacher got him into Emily Carr and got him into AP design, AP art, which that was his advice to me, so I'm going to take that advice.
Mr. Blanchard, you survived question period. Well done. Huge round of applause again.